Good morning. For me, maybe it's good evening or good afternoon for you, but it's all good, regardless of where you are in the world. But I want to share something with you. So, I was just thinking, actually, just allowing thoughts to flow to me, right? And I started thinking about the book that I wrote. And I thought about how many times I read it. So I read it, I don't even know how many times. I read it so many times before I released it to you all, right? To make sure there were no errors and things like that. And it's like, as I was reading it, I was just reading it. It's like, I know what I said. I know what I talked about. I know what I mentioned. But then Spirit was telling me to meditate on it. And so I was meditating on it with them this morning. And I'm still in meditation mode, as I usually am. But they brought something to my attention. Okay, so right now we are in the stages of entering into the new earth, right? And it's like they placed it on me to tell me, to many, it is the new earth because we've never seen this before with our own eyes. However, the new earth is actually of old. The new earth is ancient. We're just so slow because of our sociological delay. And it's something else too. I heard sociological delay as well as prevention tactics. So have you guys ever read books and did research on ancient times prior to slavery, prior to everything that they try to feed to us every day, every year on another loop? Just thinking about the pyramid in and of itself and how I think Billy Carson is the one that brought up the fact that the pyramid actually has 8 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we can't see that with our natural eye, but it actually does have 8 sides. And the pyramids are always so perfect. So there's technology that the ancients used that we haven't even touched yet, that we haven't even figured out yet. We are now entering back into our past. This is the best loop that we've ever experienced. It's an amazing, it's an amazing time to be here because this is like a monumental moment for everyone, but I just feel as though there's so many that don't even realize what is really happening right now. And I have that little tune that me and Spirit made for you. You're a star in the sky, shine bright, shine bright. Remember who you are, remember who you are. Remember who you are. Oh, remember. We are remembering who we are. We are remembering who we are. And it's beautiful because together we have all of the answers. We are the puzzle pieces to our past and our future. See, this is why I always talk about you, or talk about you. I always talk to you about the practicalities of life to help you to balance yourself, balance your emotions, and get back right, because it's not just me and other conscious leaders that understand this, but it is you as well. And I just want you to see what you have inside, because you help move us back into our past, which is actually our future. There are some baby souls. There are some baby souls, you know, that are here on earth. However, there are also ancient ones. The ancient ones have capabilities that they don't quite understand, especially in the beginning. When you first notice you have like superpowers, and you think of things very differently from everyone else, and everything seems not right, exactly, not quite right, right? You get that moment where it's like, this is not quite right, because those who remember know that this isn't right. And we all strive together to reach the point of gaining back the knowledge that has been stolen. And so when you get good, and when you allow yourself to align with yourself, like your truest, purest form, you will begin to find the keys that don't only help you, they help many. There's keys inside of all of us, and we have to seek them so that we can use them, so that we can collectively move in the direction we need to move into. Because this new direction, which is not new, it's ancient. It's like unwrapping gifts from our ancestors. It's like imagine you were given an ancient gift. Just think about that. Like something that you can't find in the store. Something that, how can I say this here? Now I'm thinking about how pyramids are actually portals for teleportation. See, these are things that are so powerful that I feel like the adversaries had no choice but to hide it, because if they didn't, then they feel as though they would have been in danger. That's what I just heard. They would have been in danger if they did not destroy this knowledge. Even though most of it is, I mean, they know, but there's a lot that we have to figure out, because there's some things that are so ancient and so efficient that if we had access, the power is so strong that individuals who don't understand it would be in fear. No one wants to live in fear. So this is why the noses have been broken off of the sculptures within the structures. Because it's, even though it doesn't matter because we know what it is, but it's just for someone or a group of individuals to go so hard, that means that just really proves how powerful we are together. It's like, it's beautiful, and it's like bittersweet, because we still have so much work to do to even get to a point of being on the same path. And many don't even recognize that this is a path that will change you for the better. So all of the aggravation and annoyances that you feel on a day-to-day basis, you wouldn't even care about them if you recognized what is happening right now. If you could just see, you know, I try to paint pictures so that you could see. But some of you choose to be so blocked off and you're just so closed off to where it's like Fort Knox to get into your mind to help you to see yourself and those around you for what it really is. And then you'll be able to get to that point of removing yourself away from those who are not for you to then align yourself for those who are for you. But so many are so far behind because of all of the pressure that's here in this realm. I know it's a lot of pressure. Pressure makes diamonds. We have to push past the pressure so that you can shine like the star in the sky that you are. Okay. So it's like, it's not even the new earth, it's the ancient earth. Spirit, you got me feeling some type of way this morning with this message, because it's like, I know that, but I didn't think about it like that at the moment, you know. I wasn't really putting the pieces on it like that, because we know, for those who have done research and know a few things, may not know everything, but you know a few things, you know enough to know. And it's the ancient earth. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. Listen to your ancestors when they speak. If you don't hear them, you have work to do. Don't you want to be a part of it? Don't you want to experience the beauty of the life that has been given to you, as opposed to worrying about these mundane things that don't really mean much? There's so much beauty in this space. If you would just focus on the beauty instead of the pain, and then transmute the pain into beauty, all you'll see is beauty. So this is what I be trying to do. This is what I'm doing. But it's just that sometimes I wonder how many people actually hear me. Many of you, I know you hear me through the comments, the way that you tell me that. You tell me how your mind is beginning to shift. Like, you share that with me. And I'm glad that you do, because you're proving, you don't really have to prove anything to me, but you're proving to yourself that you're beginning to know better so that you could do better. You know, sometimes we just need to hear a word so that we can remember certain aspects of self that we've forgotten from being in a space of distortion since we were born here. And yes, it's challenging, but it's not end all be all if you don't allow it to be. So yes, Spirit wants me to tell you that we are moving into the ancient earth. To many it is new, because we don't quite remember it, but we're remembering. We don't remember everything, but it's the ancient earth. It's like, the more we grow and the more you begin to connect with your ancestors and your spirit family, they synchronistically align you with your soul family, with your soul tribe. And they know they know where we need to go before we know. And they try to gradually, like, you know, guide us to where we need to go. It's reminded me of the snake in my dream, that monstrous snake. When I was in the doorway and then the glass doors were open to the balcony, and it was so big, its head was so big, like a house. And it was just like this. And the eyes were black and glassy, and it was green, and it was just... But looking past me, didn't even look at me like, oh no, I don't want you. But it's like, I heard protection. you know, many times people are afraid of snakes, but yes, snakes can be venomous. But there's more meaning to a snake. They're also considered protection, especially in like the, is it Hindu? In the Hindu religion, but there's more. I believe there's another. Also, and I believe it's in the Yoruba culture, the snake is viewed as protection as well. I want to go get my computer. Hold on one moment. Give me C. I want to say give me C. Let's look it up together. Hello, class. How are you today? Let's look it up together. Okay, first I'm going to look up the spiritual meaning of a snake. As I was typing, it said spiritual meaning of a gangster. But that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so it says, in spirituality, a snake often symbolizes transformation and rebirth, renewal, as well as healing. Due to its ability to shed its skin, representing letting go of the old to embrace new beginnings, depending on the culture. It can also signify fertility, life force, and even immortality, depending on the context. Okay, so now I'm going to look up the meaning of a snake in the, spiritual meaning of a snake in the Yoruba. Yoruba culture. Okay. It's a symbol. Okay, so in the Yoruba culture, a snake is often seen as a symbol of wisdom, healing, and the connection between the physical and spiritual realm. So that snake I saw was in the middle of, it was the in-between world symbolization, particularly associated with the goddess Oshun, where it represents her divine knowledge and ability to meditate between worlds. I know how to do that. I'm trying to show you. Let's get in there, in the middle. Let's get in between the worlds. The serpent's ability to shed its skin signifies renewal and regeneration. One thing I just thought about as I started to read, because it made me pause, because you have to be, in order to do this, you have to have a sense of joy. If you guys are walking around angry and mad, if you can't find your joy, you won't be able to meditate properly. You'll have trouble receiving messages, because your anger will convolute the frequency, the airwaves. It's like static. So you have to clear the static within yourself. If you don't clear your static, you will not be able to access your abilities. What else does it say? Okay, wait a minute. Yoruba scientific spirituality and domesticated snake is thus the symbol of the ability to control our instincts. This is Oshumare, who is also symbolized in the Uraeus of the Kemetic pharaoh's crown, and as the Kundalini serpent in India. Okay, now let me look up. Now let me look up something else. You know, that last eclipse we had, I drew a picture, and you know what? I'm gonna save that for another video, because that's gonna take me to another place. So many of the drawings that I have are from meditative moments where they show me visions, or is from dreams. And just by looking at the picture, I could remember if it was a dream or if it was a meditative moment for me. And I actually drew 2 snakes, but we'll save that for another video because there's a whole story behind it. What was that? I was looking for something else. Oh, meaning of a snake. Wait. Spiritual meaning of a snake in, not a snail. In Hinduism. Okay, so, I don't want to drop my MacBook and my candle. Okay, so in Hinduism, a snake is often interpreted as a symbol of transformation, protection, and the divine, most prominently associated with Lord Shiva, where it represents his control over primal energies and the cycle of creation and destruction. Often depicted as a snake around his neck called Vasuki, or Vasukai, but I think it's Vasuki, or hold on. I'm trying to say the word, but it's like Nagendra. It says Nagendra. I like all of these depictions. They're so colorful and pretty. I think I'm going to pop them in somewhere here and there. Okay, so you can see a little bit of this and a little bit of that. All right, yeah. Okay, so back to the fact that we're walking, or our strides are actually going towards the ancient ways of our ancestors and of us, because many of us are ancient, so we're remembering. We're remembering what we experienced, many of us. And that's why the messages come in the way they do, because we're literally remembering something that we've experienced already. When we're born again into a different realm, we have to forget. I just heard a few things. We have to forget our past life because it may be too painful for us to live our new life if we remember the past. Okay. Now this is reminding me of that show with the children that remember their past lives. What is it called? Hold on. Did you ever watch it? All right. Okay, The Ghost Inside My Child is what it's called. And if you've never seen this before, when you do see it, it just might blow your mind, because this is something that I believe just because it's a natural belief within me. And I just feel like it's the ancient part of me just remembering. But when I saw it, and I saw that there's actually evidence of it, it like, I don't know, it did something for my spirit. And the stories that these little people share, it's like amazing. And then some of them have marks of the traumatic experience that offed them in the past life. They'll have marks on their body that represents what they experienced. It's just like absolutely amazing. And then I started thinking about what actually happens in the stars where there's like some type of glitch and they remember, because they remember like damn near everything, and many don't. And over time, when you start to get to know yourself, you begin to learn more about you and about what your ancestors teach you from within when they communicate with you through your blood, really, through your vessel. They run through our veins. Like, That's why sometimes you see people and you see their power and you're like, how is this person so strong? Where are they getting this from? They have a whole army. Like, there's a whole army of ancestral lineage just right there walking. Right there with you. And many of you don't even know and don't take that into account, and you often feel weak. But if you would just take some time to look into yourself, you would find everything you need. But the ghost inside my child is very, very interesting. And there's one little boy, a little European boy, and I don't know if he was like 4 or 5, something like that. He was little, and he kept on remembering that he was a black woman, and he was telling his parents that he died in a fire and he jumped out the window. The mother and the father were skeptical at first. The father, he completely was like, this kid is tripping. Okay, he is just imagining and he needs to stop. We have to tell him to stop doing that. But you see, that's another thing, how kids have all of these like special superpowers, and they just so happen to be in a family that doesn't understand or doesn't even listen to them because they're children, and they'll think that everything is make believe. And instead of just trying to understand what's going on with the child and conversing with them, they shut them down. So many children have gifts, but they shut them off as a child because they were scorned for what they were sharing with those that they felt that they could trust. And so the mother, her son was repeating this so much that she's like, nah, I gotta do research. So she started doing research, and she found that there was I believe it was like an office for like journalism, like journalists, and it was somewhere, I want to say Boston, but I'm not quite sure, but I think it was Boston. And it just so happened that that place did go up in flames, and people were jumping out the window. And he even remembered the name of his past life, and or the name of who he was in his past life. And she found the clipping in the archives. I think she said she went to the library. She showed her child the pictures of all of the individuals that had passed on, during that fire. And he quickly pointed out, oh, that was me. He knew that he was a black woman once before. Amazing. And he's a little boy. The details were too specific for anyone to deny the fact that that child remembered his past life. And that's just one of the episodes, and there's many of them. But yeah, so overall, the message here is to just inform you, because Spirit wants me to inform you that we're actually walking into the ways of the ancient. We're walking into, which many of you know this already, but some of you may not. So Spirit, we keep saying new earth. Is not new, it's ancient. And this is the point of this message. And it's also meant to be, it's meant to be like a signal for you to, even if it's hard, try your best to move towards activation. Everything that I speak about every day is bringing you towards your activation, if you would see it in such a way, because that's what it is. Me, when I speak to you every day, when we speak to you, because Spirit is speaking through me, okay? When we speak to you, it's little things in life that will cause you to be unbalanced, that will prevent you from being able to reach your ability to connect to your spirit family, as well as to the Creator. And many times, a lot of you ask me to send messages to your spirit family. You ask me. You must do that. I'm just here to show you how. But you have to do that. You have to do that. Okay? It's like, all you have to do is just do it. And when I say that, even if it feels weird, because it used to feel weird to me. I remember when I was getting into the stage of allowing myself to communicate with Spirit, Well, it didn't start with spirit per se. It started with me communicating with the Creator only. It was just me and God. That's it. And then over time, I was introduced to other spirits through God. And start with God. Start getting comfortable speaking to God in a quiet space, just pouring your heart out. And then ask God, when you're ready, can you please bring my spirit team to guide me and help me, right? With certain things that I struggle with, that I don't really see myself, because sometimes you don't see what you're struggling with, but God will see, especially if you acknowledge God and speak your pain freely, so that God could pick up the problem and know that your arms are open to allow in the presence of spirit to help you and guide you. You will begin to feel more comfortable. But with anything that you're learning that's new, you have to allow yourself to get comfortable. Nothing new is really comfortable, not unless you make it comfortable, because you find joy in that thing that you're doing, and you know that it has purpose behind it and it's intentional, so it gives you joy regardless of how challenging it is. When you start looking at things like that and you begin to smile more, you're opening yourself up to, you have to, what is the word? It's like, yeah, it's just like opening yourself up to a flow of energy that is, it's like waiting for you. It just reminds me of like a locked door that is like massive. A big door with like those big chunky locks with a lion head on it, and you could knock on it with like that with the loop. It just reminds me, I just saw that in my mind, like a big massive door with a lion chunky lock, a chunky knocker. I don't know what you call it. Chunky knocker. But you knock with that. That's what it's reminding me of. And I just saw like a light beaming on the door. Just beaming extra bright to the point where it could blind you. If you would just open that door, if you would just open the door, right? All of that light will penetrate your vessel, and you will begin to see things you've never seen before. And this is what the door is all about. It's that door. It's that door, and it's been closed and sealed for too long. It's time to open these doors. It's time to open the doors now, because it's about to go down. Okay? It's about to go down in the best way. So I think that is it, okay, for this message, because we are now taking our strides into the ancient earth, the ancient realm. I heard it is only but a memory, but our memory is now reality, because we're going to make it reality. Together, we can. And we will. See? Jeez. Smile. Okay. Everything you do, do it with love. Always remember the Creator is in you and the magic is too, because you're magic. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next video.